Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another GSL Upper Division match. My name is Bakfire. I'm joined by Loki on chair 2 with Cabbage on the cams, and we're going to watch the Big C fight Skill Issue in the round 2 of Losers Brackets. How are you doing, Loki?
Very well, thank you. Glad to be casting again. Been a little while, so yeah, I'm excited for this set.
Not going to be rusty on the cast, yeah? You all here?
No promise, no promises.
No promises. Come on, where's the confidence, Loki? We're gonna smash it.
Well, I
But
think
yeah,
Skill Issue probably got a bit of confidence after their
yeah,
first set win last week against Kits Kittens.
yeah. You think so? I was gonna ask. That was my next bit. Who do you think here is gonna win, or gonna have the upper hand, or what are our expectations?
Big C obviously finished pretty high up in the league standing, so I've kind of got to give it to them. But then also at the same time, Skill Issue getting their first win, going to get a boost of confidence there, and might be able to pull something out of the bag. So they're sort of the wild card for me here. But I got to say, Big C have looked consistent across the board, and my total guess at the moment would be Big C.
Right, we would love to see that underdog losers bracket run out of skill issue, wouldn't we? But then again, I do agree. I've casted Big C a few times as well, so I do think they have the upper hand. They have a very solid roster. So that is what I would be expecting too. Then again, the Big C did also get 2-0 by Gustra, so maybe there's something going on as we go into picks and bans. Anything new here that you think is going to happen? Any bans, any picks that we really expect?
Well, I think Freya's obviously been rising up in the meta quite a bit, and I would be surprised if either team sort of decide to let her through, or if it's without being sort of like a first pick, as we do see it there, banned away. Ravana, Kali, sort of standard bans at the moment with the Sun Wukong as well. It's just sort of expected bans so far. Nothing really too crazy yet. No specific bans, from what I can tell, towards particular players.
Right, yeah, very standard stuff. Into first pick potential, is there really anything up yet? Hachi probably still up there from what I have seen. Wait, yeah, I forgot. Marty
I am the
exists.
king of beasts.
Yeah, Marty Chorus is very, very strong. Whether he plays in mid lane or in the ADC role, he is very, very strong. Yeah, with that sort of death from above ultimate, so much pressure and so much damage, you can pretty much guarantee a death on the backliner if they don't have Aegis up. So yeah, really, really strong pick there.
Yeah, they sort of skill issue then the swift return of the Ermengander. Also a very good pick we have seen with the E-Staff and the proc build. Him just absolutely mashing backliners up. So pick I very much agree with. Terra as well has been played a lot these days, hasn't he? And yeah, then Ganesh to get the first of the last two picks of Big C in this top 3.
Yeah, Ganesh, one of these supports that's risen up in the meta quite significantly. A lot of people were complaining, saying he was really, really poor recently, with Wingblade having that aura buff. Everybody assumed that his ultimate was bad, but his silence, his ohm, is just such a strong ability, and especially into something like a Terra, like a Jormungandr, it's going to be powerful at locking them down.
Yeah, I do agree. This Harbois is a last pick for Big C as well. That's interesting, I think. Do you think that's going to go mid, or is it still just a jungle pick for now?
I think they potentially can flex it here. Marty can flex between mid and ADC. Hebo can flex between mid jungle. So it depends on who's the most comfortable on either pick, and they can kind of hold both of those picks and just to see what their lane opponents are going to be. Agni has that ranged poke, so Hebo's not got the best matchup into Agni in
Very
lane.
true.
So they might decide to put it into the jungle.
Yeah, it does seem like skill issue is also expecting that, banning X-Ball on top of the Achilles. Some more ADC bans out of Big C as well. Meaning Jingwei is still open and picked up for skill issue. That's a pick I haven't actually seen too much. Loki, you as an ADC main. Tell me, what would you have picked here? What would you have liked to see?
Jingwei kind of doo-doo right now. However, Goddan is a Jingwei lover. I got my sort of Jingwei one-trick nickname purely from playing her, but also I learned her because goddamn dogged me on Jingwei in a Smite Knight game. So that's sort of where it comes from. And yeah, he definitely loves that god. It's obviously got a fairly good matchup against Ganesh and Hebo with the 3 being able to dash off of a knock-up. So
Yes.
yeah, but then we see on the other side, Danzaburu. Again, these ADCs both gone for a pocket pick here. Pedders absolutely loves his Danzaburu. I'm highly surprised she didn't actually ban it away, considering that it's just he is a main Danzaburu.
I do like the pick. I mean, personally, I like the pick. I don't know if it's really that good right now, but I do really enjoy the pick. That being said, we have Susano Havard to round out Skill Issues draft. With that comes up the question of which draft do we like more if the Susano is actually locked in, but it is, and I do think it's a good pick. So, what do you think? Who has the upper hand here?
I think Skill Issues comp definitely relies on getting to the late game. They have such a strong late game with Agni, Jingwei, Susanoo, and this Terra ultimate to sort of bring it all together. They can be doing so much damage late game. However, the Big C have a lot of early pressure. Marty's going to bring a lot of pressure. Hebo from, I guess that's jungle now we're seeing it, and Camazot's solo. Danzaburu in lane into Jingwei. I think Danzaburu is always going to win that trade. So I think Big C win this if they sort of snowball a lead. Skill Issue have drafted very, very late game comp, and they're going to have to try and survive until the late game. But then the Big C have Camazots over Jormungandr for the late, so it could swing either way. But I'm personally preferring Big C's comp here.
Really? Okay, because I'm gonna have to be different then, because I think Skill Issues comp looks a lot better to me on the simple fact that the Big C has a lot of not that easy to confirm CC or a general lack of CC. At least the Danza Taunt very much relies on there being more CC. And before that, Ganesha only really has one stun. The Marty route, if whoever is playing the Marty is really good on him, I guess that is easy to confirm. But still, I think a bit more unreliable. And then you only have a knockup from the Habwa. Meanwhile, Skiller today have easy to confirm stuns on Agni, some easy roots with a stun out of Terra. Yorm has an easy knockup. Susano has a lot of CC as well. So, like, I kind of think Skillish should have this in the back. You are right. Especially this Jingwei is gonna take a long time to come online. But I think once she is even half online, Skillish should be able to easily just out lockdown the enemy. Then again, though, with this Habwa and Camazos, there's a lot of pick potential on the side of the Big C. So if they get to your backline, you do have to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of damage. Whilst the lack of CC perhaps on the Big C side, there was a hell of a lot of damage coming out from Hebo, Camazot, Marty. A lot of burst potential there. So Skillish are definitely going to have to play aware of that. They do have a lot of safety with the Jingwei and Susanoo with a lot of mobility. But does need to be aware of the Ganesh and obviously pick the Susanoo into Ganesh. So yeah, not traditionally a great pick into the elephant, but clearly happy to go into that matchup knowing he's already up against it. So
yeah. No, I do agree. The Ganesh does counter quite a lot on the sort of skill issue, like the Terra, the Agni, the Susano for sure. So if this Ganesha is piloted well, I would say the Big C are looking good. Though I think I will stick by what I said. I will not change my mind. Skill issues draft. I like him more personally.
no, fair enough. I can definitely see skill issue. If they can play it to a late game, they can definitely bring up a fight. And late game, I think their picks are a lot stronger for sure.
While we are still waiting for the game to start, are there any particular builds you want to see? Especially as Camazot solo, I think, is an interesting one because I'm not quite sure what I would build on it. I would have to cook a bit before I'm really sure about what's good. So anything you expect out of maybe that particular pick?
Ooh, as a solo hater myself, I do not really want to delve into the cooking there, but I've seen, whether it's good or bad, I've seen people pick up Soul Eater on Camazots. I feel like that's awful, but could get flamed for that. I don't know. Um,
Where's Ben? Get his Soul Eater out.
yeah, true. But I've seen Archer's Fury, Pridwin, obviously not a great item on Camazots, but Glad Shield, obviously really strong items right
Yeah.
now. I think Camazots is one of these gods that potentially can build more into the damage side, potentially even full damage, depending on what they want to go for. But
Full damage solos is a dangerous path to walk down.
definitely risky. Never goes well in my ranked games. When it's on my team. But
Sure.
on the enemy team, it always seems to work. So, but yeah, Seago obviously knows his stuff, and I trust in his cooking potential to make a pretty cracked build here. And I feel like this Camazot solo, you're so safe. That
You are very safe.
Just never die on that pick. If you've got a few prots, then you're unkillable.
Yeah, I mean, I do expect to see a Soul Eater or Transcendence. I think you do want to have some damage on Camazos, but then, as you said, Glad Shield works very well. I do think if you can consistently hit your two, the prod reducing defensive hybrid item. Yeah, you know what I mean. Stone of Binding is probably pretty good as well. So that actually does kind of lead in the more meta build for solo right now, because you don't want to go this full damage because you don't have any pressure on their backline, so you want to have damage that would be there by having a blue stone with Soul Eater or even better Transcendence for the damage, than with the Stone of Binding and the Glad Shield. I do think that is probably what we're going to see. That being said, we can finally go into this game one. Yeah, I don't know. Any interesting starts that you want to address? No, it looks like it's all going to be standard.
I think one thing interesting here is Goddan's actually opted for Gilded Arrow. So an item that probably the least picked up out of the 3 ADC starter items, at least in my experience. But I kind of like it, on Jingwei. That you're farming up till late anyway. Goddan knows he's not going to get the pressure into the Danzabur from Pedders, that he's just going to farm till late. He's going to play around getting that extra gold and hopefully hitting level 20 and or even before or even with Danzabur. And so I don't hate it at all. Interesting, Danzabur didn't go for maybe a leather cow like I've been seeing in the SPL. Going for that Death Toll shouts to me that he wants to fight early and wants to get aggressive in lane.
I mean, do you expect this Jingwei to go crit? Because that's where when I was still trying to cook an ADC, which is a bit not so recent anymore. But I did like this Ornate Arrow because you only have to build 2 crit items, right? And then you go the not Diamond Arrow, the other one. Which is, I think, Ornate Arrow, yeah. Because, then you have your 3 crit items and you will basically crit 80% of the time. Do you think that's what we're going to see here out of the Jingwei?
Yeah, you can even just go, because it gives you so much crit chance with 2k golden hand that you can even go just Deathbringer with that ornate arrow, and that's usually enough crit, especially on Jingwei with her shots. As we see aggression in the mid lane,
some damage into Purge, but not enough. However, there is one left over mid Harpy to be taken by the Big C, but not much damage. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that the pressure that Marty brings in the mid lane is can be tricky to play against. You have to sort of concede the pressure there. Something that's underlooked on Marty is the tick damage on his autos. The mini mannequins basically, and I think that helps with his pressure so much because you just get that little bit of extra damage and kill the minions slightly quicker. Slightly off the mark on the dash, unfortunately, for LB72.
I'll be almost getting into tower range. That would have been very unfortunate, but also kind of funny. But yeah, nothing else really happening on map. Like you said, Skillish are probably out here trying to farm. And we do see the big C in a solo lane though, because that's something I also noticed before, and also something I noticed when I was playing ranked with some more assassins in solo is you really don't have much damage early. Like, you need some items, and we do see the Transcendence coming out as well for Seagull. But, like, you really need to farm. And we already see the big skill issue being here for this blue buff. They don't want this Camelot to farm.
Ooh,
Oh,
sick
Patter's
kill
getting
on the
first part
left
of
lane.
Scylla. Biggie
Good.
Doings also dropping low. Camazotz is going for him. Will not be able to finish him off though, and that means the blue buff is secured for Seagull with a potential invade as well. Everything has gone south for a skill issue here. Very unfortunate. Yeah, that's really not what you'd like to see in the solo lane.
Yeah, definitely not. And they get the invade out on the purple side as well. So both side lanes now going to be a little bit behind and losing out on the first blood there on Silo. So yeah, unfortunate so far for skill issue. Now just under a K behind. Oh, no, nothing more. But one thing I wanted to touch on here is, but you see, both solo lanes actually going for a slightly more damage-orientated build. You're going into what I assume is probably going to be a Chronos pendant. At least it's restored artifact tier 2, and obviously Camazot's going for Transcendence first. So nothing too crazy there, but something obviously both teams can be aware of, that their solo laners aren't going to be as tanky as normal.
I mean, this Yorn build is quite normal, but it is still a bit dangerous. I do feel like your early to mid game is going to be massive. You're going to be doing so much damage without really dying, but once these Harbois and the stuns are coming online, meanwhile actually interrupting me, I'll be getting ganked, dropping really low. We do see Purge trying to tower dive, however it's just not enough. Got Dan really low in this cage, and he can't get away. Petters coming with his second kill of the game. Oh, what a Ganeshal. You know how you were saying? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted again. Seagull soloing Biggie Doings. Where did all of that early damage go that I was talking about?
Yeah, Seagull. Oh god.
Yeah,
Okay, more fighting all over the place.
Vrexa? Sorry, I do not know how to say that name. I didn't even think about that so far. Vrexa, I guess? I don't know, dropping really low here, trying to help finish up, finish some kills in the mid lane. Man, a lot has happened. What was I talking about? Biggie Doings, he's not going to be very tanky late game. You get his passive procced with the Harbois knock-up, with a Danza, and the Marty. I'm a bit worried about Biggie Doings living here. And he's already not living, so yeah, I'm worried.
Yeah. Seagull putting in a show there, getting a solo kill. Yeah, definitely ready to brawl there. Finished off his Transcendence as well, so going to be doing a lot of damage. And yeah, a fed Camazotz solo, that's scary. Yeah, I wouldn't want to play into that. I actually look for another blue buff invade on from the big C.
However, Galak is here. He's dropping Vrexa to half, and that means blue buff will be secured by skill issue. That means Big C are just gonna trot back out. Nothing else to fight for. As the rest of the team of Big C is just farming up very handily.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good heads up play there to rotate over to the blue buff. Sort of, try and prevent any more bleeding from the side lanes. But we can see a level lead sort of cropping up mostly across the board, except for the mid lane now. So yeah, skill issue. You have to be aware of that and have to try and just stem the bleeding until the late game. Like we said in picks and bans, comp really does favor towards the late game, but they just need to make it there without being too far behind.
I mean, I do favor this Agni in this mid lane matchup. Actually, I do think his ranged poke with the stun is just so good. Oh god, Dan going in onto Petters. He's expecting the gank. His tower is almost there. However, god Dan already dropping half. That's going to make this gank a lot harder. Can he find the leaf? The leaf is found. Beats coming out of Petters as Purge is also here. That means the stun will come out. The pull is here. Petters dropping low, and Purge will get his first kill for his team on the board as Galak in the mid lane is collapsed upon by LB and Cloud. A good stun, but it's not going to be enough. He's dropping two. Oh god, Seagull in the solo lane again. Biggie Doings just can't catch a break. So even though skill issue will get a kill in the duo lane, the rest of his team, the rest of Petters' team rather, making up for it in spades.
Yeah, Seagull showing why he's near the top of the ranked leaderboards at the moment. So he's putting on a clinic here.
Is he
2
now?
solo kills in 7 minutes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
very good.
So
I believe he's
to the ranked ladder. That's interesting because I swear, like a month or half a month ago, I saw him in my games, and trust me, I'm low now. Like I fell, and he was just
pretty
spamming
pretty sure he's
Bakasura solo, trying
3.5K
to get
right
out of
now.
the bad elo. Like fun times that was. I played against him like with or against him, I think for 4 or 5 games in a row, and he was just always spamming Baka solo. Those were games for sure.
Seagull probably won't know this, but he costed me my Masters rank up game, which I'm not very happy about. So hope this guy loses.
Yeah, it's not looking good for you then, huh?
Yeah, we see level lead across the board now as well as in middle. We see some aggression coming out from the middle lane, but nothing more coming out there. Just a bit of damage coming out on both sides.
Yeah, I get like half here, but it's not enough. Rexa is actually around the corner. He could be coming behind this tier 2, as no one seems to know. He's just waiting for Galak to back up. Purge also half. He's walking towards Rexa. No, Purge, please, no! Be careful! Knocked up the one, and the basics. No, the ultimate will finish him off. Purge dropping to a Rexa just behind there, as Galak also gets ulted by the Dharmic Pillars. It's not enough though. He will live enough. Rexa had to back off, but Seagull, now he's here for a speed buff invade. Man, the big C are really all over this map and all over the farm. Nothing left for Skill Issue to take.
Yeah, I think they're LB obviously losing out on the ultimate. Other than sort of asserting dominance, maybe don't know what that was for. See Seagull trying to proxy away between the mid tier 1 and tier 2. Yeah, definitely asserting some dominance here, our big C. So, but I'm all for it, you know.
And it is paying off for sure. We're already seeing a good 4K gold lead with this tier 1 as well. It's now a very solid 4K gold lead. The big C, their efforts are for sure paying off here on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. It's LB72, level 9, just one level shy of the backline carries for skill issues. So, it's actually the same level as Purds on the Susanoo. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. You know, even being a full tank support, Dharmic Pillars is gonna hurt like hell when they're the same level as you. Yeah, they need to be slightly concerned about Albi right now.
I do agree. Also, looking at builds, I saw Seagull is gonna go Soul Eater and Trans. Yeah, so maybe we are gonna see a bit more full damage action out of the solo laner, which I don't mind, but with especially with how safe the Camazots is, right? But I am a bit worried if Skill Issue do get to a late game that he might just get blown up.
Yeah, absolutely. It is looking a little bit rough now for the skill issue, you know, being
It
so
is.
far behind so early. You know, not saying they can't get back into it. You see, Agni's going in for the tablet build, which,
Oh yeah.
whilst I like, you know, got a lot of physical dive there from Big C, and he's going to do a lot of damage if he can get it stacked, but he hasn't started Book of Thoth yet. And he's not going to be hitting hard for a long time.
I wonder if he does go Book of Thoth as well, because you are kind of limiting your build a bit by doing that. I think I tried building tablet a little bit, as we do see some engage just in front of the tier 2 for skill issue. Got in, having to ult out. Nothing else happening here. Galak is here actually. Oh, Patters stayed, gonna be stunned. Beats coming out, but he was already in there. Godan is losing the trade, and with Albi here as well, that spells the end of that life. But so is Patters. He's out of this fight. Galak half being ulted by this big, massive Marty Chorus Rexa is here as well, and that means Galak has no room to breathe. 2 for 1 for the side of the Big C.
Yeah, interesting decision there from Galak to dash in. Some more aggression coming out. Birds needs to be careful. He's just nice. Oh yeah, Hebo's hitting pretty hard now. Got tier 2 Doom Orb and Spirit Dasso. Yeah, it's...
Oh, and meanwhile Seagull, oh no. Poor Purge
Yeah,
is not going to get any farm here.
yeah, that's unfortunate for level 10 Susanoo. Albie now a level lead on Skillish jungler, so yeah,
Oh god, yeah.
Susanoo really needs to farm to the late game. He's actually gone for the double stacking build as well, so again, his damage isn't going to be coming online until much later in the game.
And it does not look very good for Purge as well on those stacks, right? 83, no, 38 stacks, sorry, on the trans and 18 on the Soul Eater. That's going to take a while. As you were right, actually. Gaelic will build the Book of Thoth, which makes sense for the tablet of Destinies. However, I think you need at least 2 pen items, and you want Soul Eater as well, but you also want E-Staff. So what I have done before is just get tablet without book. Oh, Gaelic, you're looking really not good at this. Red from above will finish him off, and another solo kill for Big C. Skillish is just not able to get anything. He Purge coming back. He knows Cloud does not have an ultimate. However, he also doesn't take any damage. The Ganeshal Dharmic Pillars will slow Scylla down so much. Now we have Danza Rocket coming as well. Purge really love Rexa. Wants this. Will find it by a tower shot. Will finish a kill. Purge with that getting a shutdown, I do believe. And maybe a bit more on the board. However, tier 1 in mid dropping down as well. And maybe opening the Gold Fury up to be looked at here by the Big C.
Yeah, I was going to say it was worth it until the Gold Fury. Just Purge getting that shutdown onto Hebo is pretty massive. You can see he's now level 12. So, yeah, that definitely helps him out a hell of a lot. Lost 3, so it's not ideal, but Gold Fury as well. And Biggie Doinks found himself in a hard spot there.
Bidon's TPing in behind the enemy team just a bit too late for this Gold Fury having to ult out. That means, yeah, Skillish are just in full-on retreat, well, back to farm mode rather. But the Big C, they have carved out a big lead for themselves here.
Yeah, absolutely. 6k now, 8k, nearly 9k in XP difference. Actually, Skillish are actually often go for this Pyromancer. They do need to be careful. They don't want to be taking a fight. They are grouped up as 5.
Oh, Cloud.
Hello.
We do see Rex is in the backline, but he's not really going to push it. Gaelic finding the kill onto Cloud. Skillish are really looking good here. Also Seagull dropping half Rexa in the backline, not being able to find anything as Siller pushes this. A stun will force out the beats, but Purge is still here, barely missing the kill as Rexa is trying to 1v1 this Big Snake, but the Big Snake does more damage for now. Rexa looking low. You gotta be careful. There is the puddle. Puddle's not enough. Also, Seagull came back. Skillish, you have to engage now before all is lost. Purge, he wants it. Forces out the ultimate out of Rexa to just barely get out. Danza Rocket coming in as well, but is that really the right decision? He will get out for now. Helped by Albie in that. Spells the end of this team fight as Goddamn went in.
Yeah, getting a little bit carried away there, I think. Yeah, no, started off like a good fight for Skillish, getting that kill onto Cloud. But Albie 72 with the Ohm and Seagull obviously being able to turn it around, turn the kill onto Biggie Doinks there and saving Hebo's life just about. Yeah, I think it's just a level lead at this point. The Big C just straight up do more. Ooh, straight up do more damage. Their buttons hit harder than yours at this point, and significantly. So, yeah, it's a rough fight for Skillish, but I appreciate the attempt to get back into the lane.
It was a very good fight until I think Rexa ulted out, and then they decided to not just back off. Or even before that, I feel like they would have been out. Siller also dropping to Cloud again, or Kiaud. It's an I, right? Is that an L? It's probably an L. I'm stupid. Cloud. Yeah. I think it should have been a good fight for Skillish here. Like they got this very good early pick. They forced out Seagull. They forced out Rexa. They could have just backed off and gotten themselves a Pyromancer. I haven't agreed. Unfortunately, got to them. And that spelled doom, really, because now we've got a 7k gold lead here. Big C looking really good as Seagull is just pushing down to poor Jormungandr again.
Yeah, this is a scary. Camazotz has opted to go, like we said, for the Transcendence Soul Eater, and then going to full more damage. With a lead, I that's pretty scary. You know, you've
Yeah,
got a second jungler, but it's Camazotz with Bluestone. You know, he's gonna hit so hard, harder than probably anyone else on the map right now. So, but yeah, we do see a pause come out here, so might take it to a quick pause and
surely we can bridge the gap. Surely not. Surely we just
you
talk.
reckon? You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. I reckon we just talk. No, because I think the I think the build is actually pretty good for Kama now. As you said, with him being ahead, and we saw what the build does to Galek in mid just before. Like you get 1-2, one basic, one probably three, I think it was, and Galek just didn't live anymore. So Rata just doing so much damage, and also him being level 17, I think it was. Um, so yeah, the build works. I am still worried that should Skillish get back into the game, and we have seen glimpses of them being able to do it with that last team fight until they overstepped. So I do think it could happen. The camera could still get into trouble if Skillish should manage to get into late game. But right now, Seagull is definitely someone you don't want to meet anywhere on the map, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to take a little while for Skalishu to be confident enough to blow up this Camazotz. Obviously, Soul Eater and Serrated. There's a lot of lifesteal as well. Camazotz obviously a god that has a lot of healing and lifesteal built into his kit, but with the addition of those items, yeah, it's going to be amplified even more. He's going to feel tankier and harder to kill just with the addition of those items there. You see Soul as such a well-statted item now. Can
Yeah.
even see it obviously picked up on Susanoo, which not necessarily an item we see that much on Susanoo, but definitely strong just for the raw stats.
I do want to redirect our attention back to the Zagni build because we have a breastplate. Everybody,
Yeah.
yeah, I hate it here again. It's just like last time. Why does
Yeah.
everybody lie? I mean, I
Yeah.
get why everyone builds it. I just hate it, but that also makes sense now then with just getting Thoth and Tail of Destinies. You just want to spam those abilities right and get as many procs as you can with it. And as has been whispered into my ear, maybe a Glad Shield as well. It makes sense, I guess. I just kind of hate it.
I've seen it a lot. It's a lot of damage. As we see, the game's restarting now. But yeah, you want that breastplate for the cooldown.
Mm.
The interesting things actually went for Sands of Time there at the start of the build. Usually you see Conduit again, just for the spam, the procs, getting that general focus late game just makes that item
Oh,
or makes that
goddamn.
build so really strong.
I mean, I do agree with that, but then, especially if you get the Glad Shield, you do have 30% CDR already. Are you just going to go into the alternate timeline then, or what do you reckon is going to happen here?
Yeah, feel like it could be alternate timeline potentially. It could get really tanky with that build. It's a lot of physical prots, and obviously Big C have a lot of physical dive again with this. Dan Zabura, who likes to get stuck in, Marty Chorus, who just presses forward and kills a backliner usually, and obviously Seagull, who is incredibly fed right now. Yeah, I quite like the breastplate, but again, needs to get these stacks finished up first.
Yeah, we do see Big C grouping up for the zone. If you're again, Big Skillish are attempting to do something about it, are a bit late though. Gaelic will just try and get some damage onto LB, however, not much is really happening here. To get another pause in, we don't know how long this is going to take, but we're going to just bridge the gap again, Lockie. We're talking, my guy.
No problem.
I, I mean, I get the point of the build on Agni. It's just I personally dislike it. I like this glass cannon type deal a lot more, I think. Um, though I have also not tried this build yet, so maybe I just have to give in to the cringe once in a while.
Yeah, one thing I would like to point out here is actually Goddan opting to go for dominance straight after execution, and so is Pedders. Both choosing to go XC Dom, which not a order that I've seen a whole lot of. A lot of the time it's executioner or dominance second, and then you go into the kins, Odysseus Bow, and you get the second pen item fifth. So potentially looking to blow up those tanks quicker. But I gotta say, kins or Odysseus Bow both bring so much extra damage into the build. As soon as you get those items, you get such a huge power spike. And I don't know. I think I'm a little bit surprised to see both ADCs opt towards that, but maybe I'm, I could be completely wrong here. I'm a simple MD washed ADC, so what am I
Oh,
talking
you're a washed ADC, bro. You have seen me actually. I'm a washed ADC. No,
we, we were the top last season, no problem. We were just both washed.
no, and the season before that. Don't forget season 2. That was my prime. Now I'm just thinking of the good old times. Realistically, it's kind of sad, really. But yeah, I do agree. Especially for Petters, I think I would have liked to see the kin size a lot earlier. I like the power spike it gives a lot more than this XU or the Dom early. I mean, the dominance makes sense on certain picks, right? Like the X bar where you want the MP5.
Yeah.
But on anything else, realistically, I like the kins earlier more. On God Dance side, I think it makes sense though, unless you want to have the Wind Demon. Oh, not Wind. It's not Wind Demon anymore. It's another
Doom.
glide now, whatever. Yeah, thank you. That. If you want that early, I like building it early if you go crit. Um, but I don't mind getting all the pen items first, especially when you're behind. You probably need those pen items more than the crit items. So I do think it's for the Team Ray, I can understand the build path. For the Danza Boar, I'm a bit more on the fence. As we do see another beacon going down, this time uncontested to the Big C.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Big C potentially look at rotating towards this fire giant now. They have got the double ADC comp, have a lot of good burn, and they obviously have such a huge lead, just shy of 10k. They probably need to push their lead. You can only hit level 20 once, so wouldn't hate to see them, pushing towards this fire giant in the next sort of minute or so. A little bit surprised to see they didn't do it with the Oni waves, but at this point, skill issue kind of need to just give it up and then keep farming until it is EFG, and when they really need to sort of put the brakes on and start defending FG.
I did just notice as well, this is 20 minutes into the game and we are seeing like a 13k gold lead for the Big C. That is so... Wait, no, it's not 13k anymore. We're only back down to like 8k now. Galak, oh my lord, blown up by the Camazons.
Right.
However, Purges here trying to make up for the death. Not able to do so as the Big C also gets a Pyromancer on top of that kill. It's really not looking good for skill issue. Do you think they still have a chance to come back? And if so, where is that chance?
They give up this FG for sure. I think you kind of just gotta hold tight on your Phoenixes. Maybe look for a split push like Ordana is doing right at this moment, and just try and hold out until you've got some more items online. There's no chance you sort of step up towards this FG unless you get like a lucky steal such as this, but Perd's unlucky to not get that, and also not able to get Albi either. Looks like it's going to cost him his life.
Yeah, Purge is looking really low, being Danza rocketed as well. A good attempt trying to get some damage onto Patteries and Albi here, unfortunately not enough. Level 16 as well, it's just got to be really rough for the Susano. Susano from behind I think doesn't feel that good at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Not a huge Susano player myself, but definitely one of the gods that does not feel good when you're behind. Wants to be able to, one-shot those backline squishies and get out quickly, capitalize on his mobility.
Biggie is forced out by Seagull again. Tier 1 and right, push down. I think this is where skill issue have to, not skill issue, where Big C have to group up now. Push down all those towers, right? Ghost Fury is coming up now soon as well. I think you think we're just going to see that standard play, surely, right? I mean, nothing else is really there to be done by Big C.
Yeah, probably look to clear up these tier 2 towers. Might look to go for a Phoenix potentially, but that's only due to their level lead. Clearly looks like they're starting off with this tier 2 in left. The fact that they're not going for the tier 2 in right first screams to me that they might actually go for the Phoenix, as the raid boss is in the mid lane. I kind of favour Seago in this fight.
Yeah, you think he can 1v4?
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone can, it's him.
Yeah, that's for sure. And he might even be able to stop some backs here
No,
whilst
he
Big
is
C gets the left Phoenix. Unfortunate there for skill issue.
uncontested, but Cloud now dropping low. The skill issue don't want to give this up for free. After all, Jormungandr up into the sky. Seagull is in fact 1v2 in the mid lane, and he's gonna win it too. But yeah, skill issue also not able to find any closing kills here onto Cloud or LB. Seagull is just too massive, stopping those backs and now hunting down Purge. No, not hunting him down anymore at all. But what a fight. Well, not even a fight for the Big C, just what a play out of Seagull and the rest of his team, and the communication needed for it. Just really well done.
Yeah, definitely Seagull looking really strong right now. Yeah, gone into a third lifesteal item, that is Bloodforge. I love it. I think he's never gonna die. He's got so much power, so much damage onto these backliners that he's just, he can get a kill easily. He gets that Bloodforge proc, and he's never dying.
You would think that we would have seen some more anti-heal earlier from this sort of skill issue, but there is just one Contagion and now one Divine Ruin, which takes the spot of another important item for that build, though, I feel like. So not very good. Bigodoin's dropping really low as well, having to go up into the sky. No, he doesn't even get into the sky. Rexa, who will manage to kill Bigodoins just before he can leave.
Yeah,
I'll be going more aggressive as well, but that is rough.
yeah, that is rough. And like we touched on earlier, both these solo laners going for a more damage-orientated build. Bigodoins has a lack of magical defense there, and obviously getting one shot almost by Vexor on this Hebo. As we see engage on the right, Phoenix.
Damage Pillars down as well as the Sun ultimate, but doesn't matter. 2 kills for the side of the Big C. While they did trade Albi for it, this is a good fight. The bomb coming out as well. Right Phoenix is dropped just like the left one, but without their support and their only tank off the map, it is time for the Big C to look at different objectives like the Pyromancer.
Yeah, they unfortunately there to lose Albi, but not the end of the world. Fire Giant has now ended, so they are going to be pulling back anyway. Albi's going to be back up for this next FG, and I suspect it's going to be, it's not going to be an EFG by the time this thing falls, I imagine, unless we have a few Fire Giant dancers. But I do actually think skill issue now do need to fight potentially around this FG, because both Phoenix is down. One FG is probably going to be game. So I don't know. You could look to just try and tighten defense, but at the same time, it's going to be a hard defense, and it's going to be very rough.
I do agree. I kinda, I would have usually said, Skillish, you have to slow this game down, but like, how do you slow it down at this point? There is nothing to do anymore. You've got your 2 Phoenixes down, no towers, your jungle is always invaded as Fire Giant is just going down uncontested as well. I feel like Skillish, you can't really slow this down with this Fire Giant gone now as well. Really, what is there for you to do?
Yeah, they kind of are just going to be looking to end the game now as Hebo gets aggressive.
Dropping low, having to Aegis the damage out of Rexa. It is enough to get up for now. The rocket that Patters was riding is there as well as Seagull will go for Gaylag. 1, 2 out of the ultimate is enough. Gaylag back into the grayscale of the rest of his team. Will push down the mid. Phoenix. Some more damage and ultimates coming out. Damage Pillars will allow for 2 kills for Cloud, and that means 3 from the side of Skillish down. But Purge, he's there. He will find return kills. 1, he finds 2. That means his team will be safe for now. Probably now Purge dying to Cloud, and that means it is still all for naught. Patters and this double ADC with the Martyr Cores as well are running down the base of Skill Issue. Bigodoins, he's here. Can he redeem himself in the last bit of this game? But it's not going to be enough. Fire waves dropping in as well as the Titan slowly but surely crumbles under the might of the Big C.
Yeah, that Seagull just went crazy there a little bit, diving into the Titan room to secure the kill onto Galak. Yeah, just showing off how much damage he really can do, and the strength of Camazot's that solo dive that he can bring with the Bat into Hell ultimate is just so strong. You know, untargetable CC immune damage that you just get out for free. Um, yeah, it's scary to or play against, and yeah, especially when they're fed.
For sure. I would have said just shut it down early, gank it more. But then I was thinking, wait, no, this is a Camazot. You can't gank that. So yeah, what do you do about it? Once he's this far ahead, genuinely, what do you do about it?
Yeah, it's rough for Big Doinks to fall in lane a couple of times there. Um, Yorm is a safer god, obviously not appreciating perhaps the damage that's coming out from Seagull, channeling the ultimate quick enough. But unfortunately, well, although well played for skill issue, they had some really good moments. I definitely think they can bring it back in game two. Maybe look for a composition that has a bit more pressure in the early game. Um, and I feel like they did just get absolutely snowballed there. 28k from Seagull,
Oh
going a
yeah,
bit hammy salami there. So
for sure.
yeah,
I think another thing that I would like to touch on, which is a bit of speculation now, but looking at the ward numbers, especially out of Purge as well, I think to stop Seagull from running wild as much as he did is you have to ward up around your own jungle a lot more because he was invading so much. He took so much farm from Purge, which I think reflects in his damage and his presence in this game. He had some good moments, especially late game, once he did finally find some items somewhere on the map. I don't know, he didn't really have much gold to show for it. Um, but Seagull just taking so much of those speed buffs, those back harpies. I think he even invaded some red buffs if I saw it correctly. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but like you need to stop him from going there so much. So maybe Purge actually staying around the solo lane would help. Warding up a lot would certainly help. Because Galek seemed happy to rotate for fights. So maybe just ward up, make sure he doesn't get as far ahead, and then you've got a chance. But I do think once we were past that 20 or 15-minute mark, it was practically over.
yeah, definitely. I think Galak obviously did 21k on this Agni though, so looking quite strong there. Despite the slash line, was able to put out the numbers, and yeah, it did look quite strong on the Agni. So potentially a pick that they could go back to, but I would like to see a bit more pressure coming out from these side lanes and just prevent this snowball that happened from game one.
I do agree. I do think Dan also never really got to show up with his build or gameplay, really. But that means we're going to go into a quick break before we come back with game two of the Big C versus Skill Issue. And just like that, we are back already as promised. The break was in fact little. We are here with game 2 of the Big C versus Skill Issue. Big C taking this first game handedly, no problems at all. I'm still Sparkfire, I'm still joined by Lucky and Cabbage. Lucky, what do we think is going to happen here? What do Skill Issue need to change to prevent whatever happened in this first game?
I think drop some more pressure. Obviously, this camera's just got out of hand. Don't necessarily need to take it away in the first sort of phase of bans, but potentially look to take away in the second phase of bans if they haven't picked a solo laner already. Seagull obviously is a very strong solo laner, and whilst Camazotz is good, I'd be more concerned to see what he is like on a Sun Wukong or something like that. So yeah, keep Sun Wukong bans. You know, the top 3 bands don't necessarily need to change too much. Obviously, nothing really worked for them game 1, particularly in terms of picks and bans. So yeah, looking to maybe keep the top 3 bands at least the same, but maybe adjust the pick slightly and maybe adjust the second sort of phase bands.
I mean, I do agree. I mean, I did say I favored Skill Issue's draft. So I do think the draft was not that big of an issue, more of actually in-game choices and in-game play. However, on some things like the Jing Wei, for example, I think I do agree Goddan just didn't get to show up ever. And I think a different pick could help him with that. However, everything we just said is already thrown out the window. Camazotz, first bat. The respect is there. We don't want to see it again. Sure, fair enough. The Marty too.
Marty, yeah, okay. They are terrified, but they see there is the Wukong ban. Speaking through these bans, well, there is the Wukong ban. So yeah, no, that's as expected. I would not want to see Seagull on that pick. That Wukong, very scary at the moment. Really strong. But that does leave open Thor, and it is first picked. Another pick that can flex into solo and jungle. So yeah, I like it. It brings a lot more pressure as well, especially from jungle, not necessarily from solo.
The Big C insta-locking this Ganesh and Danza. I'm not sure about the Danza. The Ganesha I can fully understand. Into Thor as well, right? He just shuts him down. Danza a bit more curious, but he did do very well here, so there is that. But Ravana is open again and let through, and Kuzenbo hovered as well.
Yeah, I think Ravana has fallen out ever so slightly. Still a top pick, but not as oppressive as he once was. Don't hate the fact that Pettis has gone back to the Stanza Burrow. I fully expect it to have been banned in the second phase bans because it is such a comfort pick for him. And like I said, game 1, I was surprised they didn't take it away from him, just because he loves that god. So, but yeah, definitely good. And Big C now this time going towards the Susanoo, which I do like now that they've got the Ganesh for themselves. Yeah, it doesn't have that massive counter matchup, and I think it's going to be able to do a lot of damage when it comes to the late game.
And Big C trying to show Skill Issue how it's done here. Rat picked up as well as the last 4 bands have just been... We've been breezing through. Discordia, Agni, very understandable bands. Rama, Haim again, meaning Skill Issue have to go back deeper into the pocket for this ADC pick. Shadowbug coming out. And the MILF, sorry, Morgan Le Fay, hovered as well. What do you think of the Cherno pick here?
Face the wrath of a sorceress scorned.
Cherno is... I hate the pick. I don't like the god. He's every team likes having a Chernobog player. I just hate Chernobog. He kind of is so passive in lane and kind of just farm till late. As we see some spice. I'm gonna forget the Chernobog now. Anubis.
Now that is... We can tell the Big C, they are confident about this. And I mean, fair enough. After that first game, I would be confident. But we do see it's some more interesting drafts now, right? I'm interested what you think now is the better draft here, again.
So Big C look like they've definitely gone for some more comfort picks. So obviously Dansborough, Ratatoska, Anubis, all strong picks. Potentially, maybe not Anubis, but strong picks, but more probably towards the comfort side of things. Ratatoska, definitely a solo laner that people have been saying that can be really, really strong, but does struggle in the early game. So it's kind of swapped around, but does have not the toughest lane opponent. That is either going to assume Ravana or Thor. One of the two. Neither of them are particularly lane bullies like the Camazots or the Jormungandr that we saw from last game. So Seagull is going to be able to farm till late, and Ratatoska late game as a solo net is really, really strong. So I'm excited to see what Seagull can pull out there. Do like the Morgan Le Fay pick. I don't think it's the best into Anubis, so maybe Big C were looking for this Anubis pick into the Morgan Le Fay potentially, or just thinking, you know what, we want to play Anubis and
I
frag.
think the Anubis is actually all right because as long as you don't get stunned, you can just basically always get him out of his one. And because he's stationary, I often feel like Morgan Le Fay struggles a bit in getting damage off because at the end of the day, I feel like most of her stuff is easily avoidable, especially the one. But Anubis can't avoid it at all. He's always going to get hit by it, other than when Morgan Le Fay is CC'd. So I think that matchup should be alright as long as you play it a bit safer and give the Anubis the respect that he deserves. But yeah, the Rat as well for Seagull, I do think is a very good pickup here for how he played, right? You see those early rotations out of him, and the Rat will just allow for that tenfold compared to the Camazots. So I do like the Big C's draft, though it is very unconventionally for the most part. The Anubis is probably the one part I really don't like. I think that is too much a risk to take, but then again, you've got a game to throw away, so why not? When I was looking over the skill issue side, I was thinking like, okay, this kind of depends on how well the Raven does. Then again, if Morgan Le Fay does well, it could also work. Or the Thor. So I guess that also speaks to skill issue having a draft that has a lot of win conditions for me right now. So I'm a bit torn here. I'm not sure what I would prefer.
Yeah, I think Kuzma is obviously a really, really strong support at the moment, and can be really, really hard to kill with how tanky he is. But he doesn't have the greatest matchup into Ganesh. Losing half of his passive from a knockup, either from Susanoo, from Ratatoska, or Ganesh, and then obviously having the silence coming out, preventing him from popping his two, getting those cooldown resets. I feel like this Kuzma could potentially be blown up despite how tanky we have seen him in recent games. However, I think the dual lane skill issue definitely a bit more pressure here. Hopefully, solo lane probably favourite towards skill issue still, with Ratatoska just being a little bit weaker in lane. But yeah, the mid lane, obviously Morgan Le Fay does need to be careful. Laning against Anubis, Anubis can be a little bit tricky to lane against, especially in ranked games. People camping around corners ready to wrap ult you. Yeah, Morgan Le Fay does just need to be a little bit careful, I suspect.
What do you think? Is there going to be a Blink Anubis? The real questions of this game, honestly.
I hope so.
You hope so, yeah. That's the right answer. Me too. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think it's a bit more pressure for skill issue in this dual lane as we do move into the game. But Cherno, in my experience, needs some levels before he can clear properly, like before he can actually properly like one-shot that lane. But the Danzo doesn't have that issue. He will be able to clear very fast straight away. So I'm a bit worried that Big C are gonna run away with a big dual lane lead again.
Yeah, Anubis has got Blink.
He has got. Let's go.
Okay, Cloud opting for Blink first relic. Says nah, don't need beads into Kuzumbo, Morgan Le Fay, Nirvana, Thor. No problem. They're gonna be dead.
Clear.
Yeah, I mean Anubis brings a lot of pressure, so I do like it somewhat, and I suspect Cloud probably has a Probably a comfort pick for him. I assume has a strong Anubis, so I'm excited to see what happens here. Skill issue. No, sorry. Big C definitely have a capability to blow a lot of
speak
people
up.
up. Gank early.
This time, skills, you don't want to let him run away with it again. I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. I can't lie. However cringe level 2 gank is, you can't let Seagull run away, especially on a pick like Ratatoska. Yeah, really, really good play there from Purds. Get the first blood.
Very interesting as well. I was very sure that Thor was going to go into jungle and Raven into... Oh, another kill for skill issue. Albi overstepping, underestimating, got down on this Chernobog. Man, why am I being interrupted all the time today? I just want to speak. Let me, like, actually analyze and take your job from me. But yeah, I was going to say... I was expecting his Raven to go solo because his damage got nerfed, but his solo lane potential kind of didn't. But apparently Purge wanted this in the jungle, so he is looking for more pressure in the mid lane. He's gonna to get some real big damage on himself, though. He's gonna live just barely. The 3 of the Susano not able to finish him off, as Petters is looking low now on the dual lane side again. Dan has finally found himself a pick he can work on. Okay, I'm sorry, Lucky, I'm gonna let you talk now. I've talked for too long.
It's all good. Yeah, down obviously looking a little bit more comfortable on Chernobog. Some more aggression in the mid lane. I'll let you take it.
Rexa looking low, Purse is looking for it, however, the TP to Galak means it is a kill for the side of Big C, as Siller is a bit out of position in the dual lane, but nothing else really happening. The damage out of this Anubis is just too big.
Yeah, unfortunately, Birds losing out on the kill due to the Susno teleport. Just sort of vanishing in front of his eyes. Yeah, no, good little 2v2 there coming out from Big C. So yeah, really, really good. Getting this Anubis ahead, exactly what you want. Sort of the blink was used, so already, the relic usage or sort of relic choosing is going in favor of the Big C.
That is also very scary now. And Anubis that is ahead in mid lane, if the Big C are actually able to close this out very quickly, I think this is a big deal. Sidor being knocked out by Albi, but really, realistically speaking, that doesn't matter here. Yeah, Skillish do actually have a lead for the first time in this set, but I am still worried about the Anubis. I can't lie, that is just a very scary pick if it gets ahead, and so far it is getting ahead.
Yeah, we do actually see at the bottom of the player damage charts, which it's funny. Oh, we see a solo kill.
The other way around.
Big Doink showing up for game 2, getting a solo kill onto Seagull. It's what we said in Picks and Bans, that Ratatoska does struggle in the early game. Was such a strong late game solo lane pick, not the best in the laning phase, as we do see a pause. Seagull going to blame it on the lag. No problem.
Yeah, gotta restart router real quick, something's wrong. No, but Rex coming around the corner, as we can beautifully see in, well, stop motion, I guess. Do you think our little Thor is gonna get out here? I haven't actually seen the hammer come out yet, so... Oh, he does also have ult, that is very true. Yeah, he is gonna very much just get out of here.
Yeah, it depends if he respects the damage. I think, if he ults straight away, he survives. If he tries to potentially hammer out, he's going to run out of mana and kill himself. But depends on his decisions, really, here from Biggie Doiks. Could be close either way.
Also, that's actually interesting to me. I mean, I don't play much support myself because I avoid it like the plague. But we do see 2 war flags out of the supports. Is that something you like, or do we usually want to see either the Sentinel's Embrace or the other one? Man, my names are off today.
Benevolence.
Benevolence, yes, thank you.
War flag, definitely quite a strong support item at the moment. Got buffed, has those base prots now, and the 100 health, 10 MP5 keeps you sort of somewhat sustained. And the passive on it is just feels really, really nice. Feels like you can get aggressive in the early game. But we see the gank coming off
Big
there.
Doings, he does not go up in the air. everything we said he did not do, and therefore gifting another kill to Vrexa. The Susano is now ahead. She's also can be problematic. Maybe the duties of Seagull have now been transferred to Vrexa here.
Yeah, we see Solia coming out from Thor first item, and a gank on the Dural. I'll let you take it.
Purge coming through this purple buff. He is gonna. Why do you walk? Oh, sorry, got that. Not Purge. Walking into the downed killers like it's nothing. However, on the other side, Seagull dropping half. Two biggie doings again. He's really had enough after last game. He's here to play and to shut down the Seagull, but Siller is dropped by Rex, so we do see Cherno coming back with his ultimate. However, it's not enough. Purge looking a bit low. Rexa is all in on this kill. Dropping low. Can Big Dan, Goddan get something in return? No, Rexa will back out. Patter's almost full HP as well. Spelling the end of this fight. Big C are slowly getting back into this game.
Yeah, Rexa looking strong there. Getting return kill at least onto Silo there. Yeah, good little sort of counter gank, stem the bleeding a little bit. Rexa has a very strong Susanoo, so I like to see him get active with it early, for sure. Just try and get fed Susanoo. Obviously, one of these goals that hits so hard late game, and.
Knock-up immunity will save Cloud for now. The ultimate just barely not enough. But that means Cloud has nothing. The Dharmic Pillars will try and save his Anubis, but it's not enough. Rexa, he's going for this tower. Oh, he misses the ultimate. Rexa from the tower. He's gonna die. Another kill to Galar. And that means Albi also in no man's land. The ultimate coming out of Purge. And that is 3 kills for none as Biggie Doings has stopped the soloing and got soloed. Just like last game.
Oh, Brexa just got absolutely schooled. Oh my god. Yeah, unfortunate there. Off the mark with the ultimate and falls down to Galak there. Good heads up play, turn around, get the fear off. And yeah, sort of tower doing the rest of the damage. Yeah, really good play there from Galak. Unfortunate, and obviously Seagull getting that return solo kill. See the levels now even up a bit. As the game progresses, this Ratatoska is going to get stronger and stronger, so you want to be careful in the solo lane. Make sure doesn't get too far ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the red will get stronger and stronger, but the Anubis is going to get weaker and weaker. We already got a taste for what it's like for this Anubis. Like, you're really all in. And once you've all in, and if you haven't got anything, then you are pretty useless. So I am worried for this Anubis as well, because we're already seeing what kind of happens with that pick. Bedoing's now dropping low again. Seagull is apparently back, even though he does not have any animations on his 2. But whatever does the job done, if he just stands there menacingly and everything dies, that's fine with me.
Yeah. I think Spice we're seeing from the builds. We do see Goddan opting towards the tier 1 bow here, which potentially maybe looking for a Odysseus bow second. I don't hate it. It's going to give you pressure in lane, or at least help with the pressure in lane. Being able to clear a lot faster.
Oh, Seagull. No mana for Biggie Doinks to finish this kill off. Seagull dropping really low. We do see Percy as well looking for a blue buff invade. Rexa is half already. So this should be an easy invade. Mid lane not even looking to rotate. And the ultimate in from Purge will not find the blue buff. Secure for Seagull and Rexa. To follow up on this Oboe, I think, it has to be Oboe. Nothing else makes sense in that slot, I think. But in my opinion, it doesn't feel particularly good. I think, your lane feels alright, but as soon as anyone even slightly tanky shows up, you do nothing. Like, you do negative damage.
Yeah, gonna struggle with the rotations, but maybe looking towards the laning phase a bit more says, I don't know why you would on Chernobog, but no problem. As we see Chernobog rotate.
Lane. Cloud has nothing up to really punish this rotation of Galak. Rex is here as well, half already. Purge late to the fight, looking for anyone, finding a route to Cloud, and now everyone from the Big C, half HP, however, no follow-up for skill issue as Biggie Doings is almost solid again. The wall is good, and he is out for that reason.
The Solar Lane is getting pretty aggressive. We do see, yeah, Solia is now stacked on Thor, and now looking towards the cloak. Maybe looking for a prophetic cloak, I would assume. You're going towards tier 2
Ooh,
prophetic.
the Deathwalker build.
Yeah, it's spicy. I feel like late game that probably hits pretty hard, and you're going to be tanky, obviously, with prophetic being such a good item when it comes to sort of the late game with the mitigations and things.
Ultimate out of the rat, forced out, having to go back on the tower. Oh, Biggie Doings, he's looking for. Oh, no, he's not looking for it at all. The rat got further than the Thor rolled allowed, so it was just a very quick up down. I guess it helped clear the wave. I don't know. Galak, oh, looking to engage. Oh, barely out of range here, but Purge is here. And that means Cloud has nothing up. But he does have an LB up, and LB will be able to peel for now. It's not enough. Cloud blown up by this Raven. Maybe it was a good idea to put it into the jungle. 5-0-0. I'm eating my words as we speak.
Yeah, I think Purds is making us both eat our words. Purds. Oh, I said picks and bans that Ravana is sort of fallen slightly out of the meta, but yeah, no, apparently not. 5-0 in 10 minutes, putting the team on his shoulders and getting stuck in. That's for sure. Doing a hell of a lot of damage. Top of the net worth charts as well. So yeah, Ravana clearly looking really, really strong, especially in the hands of Birds.
Another blue buff invade being looked at. Seagull is here. He tries to secure, doesn't manage. That means a lot of aggression onto Purge, though. Biggie Doings in no man's land. Rexa will ult him, will not fight him. However, there is an Aegis keeping him alive for now. However, with Purge already out, even the rotation of Gale means there is no return. Kills some more damage, but Cloud is here now too. Purge fighting a kill to Seagull. Sorry, Cloud being pushed into this fire giant as well, who has now been aggroed onto Sinner. A big knockdown onto the both support, some more damage. Purge is back in it. He wants it, but it's not enough this time. Rexa will find a return kill, and the damage from this ultimate Cloud, 100-0ing our man Galak in this jungle fight. Big C hitting back, and they are hitting hard.
Yeah, it's quite a steep drop down there on the gold difference. Now swinging in the favor of the Big C. Yeah, a lot of fights breaking out around this Plu buff as Goddan's low.
Goddan low. The big leave is not, attacked by the tower yet. Targeted. That's it. As Patters will just casually walk up to Goddan and find the solo kill. This Danza can go so aggressive. You see, maybe that's what I need to get back into ADC. Just play stupid, aggressive pigs and to run it down.
Yeah, that's definitely what Purds does in Dunsborough. I've laned against it myself, and it's rough. He does like to get aggressive on that pick. See a little fight coming out now around the beacon.
We do see. Oh, the Ravenous will miss a Cloud. It doesn't matter though. Galak is here for the kill in this fight around. The beacon, a good placed ult, will tank out skill issues mid laner. However, the fight is still up now. 3 strong for the side of Big C. Skill issues are on the retreat. Beacon down, Galak down. Another win for the Big C.
Yeah, good rotation there for Big C getting that. Beacon, Seagull getting low. These solo laners are playing with fire, I swear. Like to have their health bars nice and low, but doesn't quite have the damage now. He's got Cloud Shield online. Does Seagull say?
There is another blue buff though that is looked to be invaded by skill issue. They've got a support and a jungler here. Now, Biggie Doings is a bit low on mana, but he will get that totem, I think. Siller is here on the blue buff. There's a Rattle. We do see a big rotation from the mid lane. This could be a bit dangerous for skill issue. They did get the invade, and now they just have to back off. A stun to Siller means he will drop immediately to the damage. But, I mean, it is just your support for a blue buff invade, keeping Seagull down as you should. So I don't mind it too much.
Yeah, I think one thing to point out here, Rexa 6-1 on the Zeus node, something hadn't
Oh, I didn't
really
even
touched
notice.
on. Yeah, I hadn't noticed either. Exact same slash line as Purds. You're saying Purds obviously
Hmm.
having a stellar game on this Ravana so far. Rexa also doing the exact same, but on Susanoo. Purds' pick from last game. So showing how it's done with Susanoo. And going into the Bloodforge third item, it's going to have a lot of power, a lot of damage.
Hmm. Well, looking forward, what I would be interested to see, or to see what you think about it, and that is this Anubis. He has so much damage, even on objectives, right? Do we maybe see just some cheeky Pyromancer pulls or something in between?
Yeah, I feel like depends on what they class the value of the Anubisol, whether they want to use the Anubisol to burn a target. Doesn't matter who it is, as we saw, Sylar got absolutely blown up by Death Gaze or whatever it's called. But at the same time, if they want to go for an objective, they definitely can. Pyromancer as well, being one of the easiest objectives in the game to kill, it's Anubis can just one-shot it.
Siller again nowhere, but Cloud looking really low. That is a 1-for-1 trade. The mid laner for the mid laner so far, we see everyone rotating it besides the solo laners. A little bit of a fight over realistically nothing. Petters, he wants more. He's going for Goddan. No, back to. Oh no, he is coming around the corner there, looking for an invade. But Purge is here. So is Rexa. LB just around the corner too, but so is Siller. So the 3v3 will continue. That is Beads out of Goddan and Aegis as well. That means Siller will go and Purge half already. There is an ult coming out of the jungler and the ADC. Goddan going back in. He's looking for something but doesn't quite find it. The rest of his team already on the retreat. The support and the jungler too low to continue. As Rexa, he wants more. LB coming to continue this fight. But Purge, he is back to base and Siller is just able to walk away.
Yeah, damage coming out from Rexa right now is absurd. The ultimate there hit like a
Goddan.
truck. And Goddan stuck between a Panda and a Susanoo.
Yep, there's nothing you can do about that. Rexa really loves Galak. I feel like maybe walks high instead of low. You get a return kill, but it is what it is. Purge a bit too late as well. But also nothing further attempted by Big C.
Yeah, there's a lot of low health bars. Defensive Birds wants to get
he does.
back first stops.
Rexa low. Yeah, that comes the ultimate. That is 1-2 hits onto Petters as well. If Purge just hits that down a little bit more. But now Cloud is here. He wants more. Galak will find some damage. Purge lives for now. That is another rotation that didn't really do that much. Well, I say another.
Yeah.
So far the rotations have been really good. This was the first one really that didn't do anything.
Definitely an arena game so far. It feels like a lot of kills in a very short space of time. So yeah, both teams looking to scrap early. Obviously, both have quite an aggressive mid 3v3. So the rotations from the mid 3v3s, I'm not surprised by it whatsoever. Looking to capitalize on their aggression, I suppose. Anubis brings so much pressure in the early game. So does Kuzenbo, so does Ravana. Definitely not surprised by it whatsoever. I'm interested to see how both teams sort of pull it into the late game or transition into the late game and use these picks and sort of capitalize on it. I fully expect Seagull on this Ratatoska to kind of get crazy.
Goddan will be called out by his own purple of Purges here, getting some good damage onto Petters. Petters half Siller is on the way, but Purge is still caught between a rock and a hard place, that being Albion is Ganesha and Rexa on the Susano. Now Siller is here and so is Galak, but finally we see a rotation out of solo lane. Seagull, he wants to get some action on this back line of skill issue, but they will live for now. A quick retreat. There is the Thorold. LB stunned out. Will drop below half souls. Patteries. But with everyone here, Cloud will get some good damage into Galak. Seagull CC'd for now as Goddan is caught in the backline of the enemy team. LB looking low, but I don't think it matters very much. Patteries fighting the finishing touches on that kill. So Biggie Doing's the next one to fall. CC'd and silenced into the grayscale, and that means an easy Gold Fury pull for not skill issue, the Big C.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
There's the damage coming out from Cloud on this Anubis. Going for full lifesteal build. Yeah, it's gonna hurt, and he's gonna be hard to kill. The amount of lifesteal he has, he can probably lifesteal through a lot of the damage. You're gonna have to burst him. But 3-level lead in mid lane. That's a sneaky lead I hadn't even noticed. Pedders as well got a
Yeah.
significant lead. It's looking rough for the back line of Skill Issue. You're not going to be hitting as hard as your opponents.
For sure. Now there is also finally some rotations coming out of the solo lane. I was thinking like, okay, we've got these two solo laners with like global ultimates. Surely we make use of them earlier in the game. But both just were happy farming and well soloing each other. But now that they are here, they do make an impact. Rexa is here to try and solo Purge, who is gonna up down Seagull in the sky. Purge will be stunned out and killed for it. Biggie Doing is not able to help his solo laner here. Galak is back in it as well, but Seagull now really tanky, will not be worried in the slightest, especially with Albi and Rexa here as well. Siller will not really change this one either. I do believe Rexa just invading a bit as Patters finds another solo kill onto Goddamn. Seagull, half by now, Dharmic Pillars will be dropped, not doing much damage, but holding out two of them. Seagull dropping low body, double tap from Biggie Doinks, but no one here to capitalize on it. No one push it further. Albi Stash will miss with Cloud back in it as well. Another good stun, just misses the double tap, but Galak will draw his enemy solo laner. Siller drops to Cloud again. Up is the Thor, and back out he will go.
Yeah, unfortunately there to lose Seagulls. We see Pedders split pushing. Don't think he's going to be able to get that Phoenix seat rotation coming over, but probably going to be able to get out just fine. Yeah, unfortunately there to lose Seagull. We do pick up the Pyromancer, do get 2 kills. Actually, I think it was a solo kill as well in the ADC lane. So, yeah, definitely in favour of Big C. We see the gold lead extending quite significantly again. Bit more similar now to game 1.
I think now we're beginning to see a lead in this jungle as well, not solo lane. I think this is where the nerf on Raven shows, as Cloud is being engaged on Purge, just not being able to blow up anyone as he used to in the first 10 minutes of the game, where he really had an impact. So yeah, this is I think where what I said comes into play. Raven being nerfed, his damage is just not what it used to be. And now Rexa on this Asana just pulled ahead by a good bit.
Yeah, interesting. The Ravana went towards Arendite second item, and I haven't seen a whole lot of recently. Sort of fallen out of favor. Not that it's actually been nerfed. I don't think. I might be wrong.
The power has gone down, right? That used to be a 75 power item.
Yeah, I think that was just in line with all the other power nerfs. But
Yeah.
obviously, it doesn't bring you a whole lot outside of the power.
Yeah.
10-second cooldown, and then obviously it's the passive. But not bad item, but maybe not, you know, something that most junglers favour. Perhaps a soul hitter might have been better, just for the penetration, the lifesteal, and you know, naturally just makes you more tanky and harder to kill.
Big rotation onto the solo lane. Biggie Dog is engaged on so much, and through the wall comes a gaze from this Anubis, and it is enough to find the kill. Up in the air goes Seagull onto Siller, but is it enough? So we'll get a push out of Albi, but yeah, another ultimate over the wall means 3 kills for the side of the Big C, pushing down Galak as well, who will manage to live for now. Nope, the Blinky and Aegis used, but it's not enough. Rexa and Seagull are gonna find a 4th kill, pushing down this tier 2, potentially a Phoenix now, I do believe.
Yeah, they should get this Phoenix pretty much for free. I can't see Goddamn rotating, but Goddamn does actually have to be careful here. Cloud9 is coming up to him in the mid lane. Does get his back. No, no.
Cloud will miss the stun, but it does not matter. The 1 is enough. Not that he can move in it, otherwise I don't think he would have caught him. But yeah, unfortunate. Good idea from Goddamn, right? To split push.
Yeah,
Better idea back to
put it in the Dura lane, but obviously
yeah,
depends where you find yourself at the time. But yeah, Pedders now 6-0-6 on this Dancerborough.
no lord.
The damage dealers on the side of Big C they're pretty fed now, all of them across the board. And yeah, they're going to be pumping out some numbies.
Rex are just corner camping, but I mean it is working as the rest of his team are doing a fire giant. Cloud also just corner camping, looking for a kill into Galak. That's unfortunate, but again, another proof of what I just said earlier about the Raven damage, right? You get soloed so easily by Rexa there, which shouldn't happen if you are basically up on items the same way that this Susano is. But yeah, a lot of damage is also coming out. Oh, what a wall from Biggie Dongs to stop the big rocket. No, Biggie Dongs looking low. He got pushed into a corner, dropped by Galak, but it is 2 kills for the Big C. They're still up 1. Goddamn, has to run out, and he will do so for now. Purge being able to stop another engage. Rexa wants it, though. He is going to find the kill. Purge not able to live through this, and that means Left Phoenix looked at by the Big C now, and they are going to manage to find it too.
Yeah, Rexa Susanoo is a scary prospect. Yeah, 14 and 2 now, getting that triple kill. You saw the amount of damage that comes out there. Insane amount of damage. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Can kind of do no wrong at this point. Full build, starter upgraded, full 6 items.
Cloud around the corner. Oh no, they've missed him.
The blink.
Come on, Nene. Get him, Nene. Hit his ass. Not ankles. Bite his ankles. I can't say that. Sorry.
As you see a fight coming out around this Gold Fury.
For Dunk, beating low. There is the Rat as well, finding some good damage. Sailor low to Rexa, finds another kill, and that's a big engage by the Danzaburo as well. 2 ultimates used for Galak, and that will spell his doom. Goddamn, not even there. Purge, not even there. As Biggie Doings is pushed out further as well, just laughing with LB, but there's Cloud. He wants some stun, knock up, some damage. And there is a silence, and that will be the end of Biggie Doings' travels, adventures through the enemy jungle. Right? Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like game to me.
That looks like game. Yeah.
Interesting decision there from Skirsh. Obviously looking to fire on this goal through, but the Hail Mary play.
Well, Purge is here. He will defend his Titan. Petters is low. Fighting into... Oh, well, I was gonna say. It looks tough, but there is so much damage coming onto Purge. Sealer is up, but can he realistically defend his Titan with his mid laner? Galak will clear some waves. Fire waves now gone. Mid Titan, though, that will mean mid Phoenix is basically under siege as well. Right Phoenix immediately down after it came back up. It's looking tough for Skill Issue.
Yeah, I feel like Rexa just kills everybody here. He is big Susanoo, big scary. Yeah, Fireman is pouring
No,
into
Cloud.
And
Cloud into Fountain. There is a Titan on Titan action now, but we do see some damage coming out from Skill Issue. Seagull down as well, the Thor dunk. Rexa will find Galak as the Titans are fighting. No, you need to get back off to his Titan. There are fire waves as the other Titan drops down and it's killed. Without Skill Issue even losing the fight. Rexa, the last one alive. And yeah, Winions and Titan ending the job.
yeah, Big C nearly thrown it there. 4 people dying in the Titan room. Panic end, some would say, but no. Really sort of clinical players, especially. Game 1, Seagull obviously had a cracking game, but game 2, I think. Wow, the Anubis looked great. We can talk about that, but Rexa on this season, though, goddamn, that's just insane. Yeah, well played.
Yeah, just all across the board, right? I don't think there's anyone on the Big C where you can look at and say, yeah, you know what? You actually kind of got carried in that game. I think all of them had their place in here. Some more than others, for sure. But I think that's something to look at where really no one was dragging their team down. No, Skill Issue, on the other hand, with that out of the fight for the finals tourney. Yeah, it's out of this losers bracket. That means the Big C will advance. I don't quite know against who now, but we will maybe see that later. We'll see. Um, to my favorite question after every game, who do you crown as MVP here?
Frax for game 2. Top damage in the whole set, or the whole game. Sorry, 35k. 18 to 2. Yeah, just absurd. Maybe could have put down some more wards. Come on, but yeah, no, just great play coming out from Susane. And just the damage. I was just blown away. He's like one-shotting everybody. It's just insane. But yeah, great watch, and commiserations obviously to Skill Issue. Out of GSL until next season. But Big C looking like a very scary team, and they finished second in the league. So if statistically, if anyone's gonna knock down Pikachu Esports, who I don't believe lost a set, only dropped a game due to a DC. I think if there is any team to do it, it's going to be Big C.
Oh yeah, that is a titan to look at though. But Pikachu Esports are looking so unbelievably good now. That's definitely a tough one. But yeah, no, the Big C looking very solid. I do think the second game was a bit more of a scrap. They allowed Skill Issue a lot more room to play the game than in the first game. The first game was clinical. You didn't leave them any room to breathe. Seagull ran basically the whole right side of the map. And you had Petters who just ran down, got down all the time. It was clinical. There was no mistakes at all. Besides maybe the one overstep on the Pyromancer fight that then still turned out in Big C's favor because Skill Issue overstepped. But game 2 was a lot more scrappy, and I do think it was because the Big C didn't take it as serious anymore as game 1. Honestly, indicated by this Anubis pick, while it did work, I do think it's more risky and more of an ego pick. So there was a lot more room for Skillish to do something, and they did. To their credit, they did try. But yeah, the Big Siege is looking very dominant, very good. If they actually get like their minds in the game, I think they are very scary, and we could maybe see a very good finals with them facing Pikachu, as you said.
Definitely.
Yeah. One thing as well. I said get more wards. Skill Issue heard me and said, no, we don't like wards. We don't do that here, and wanted less. So, I mean, wards win games, kids. I am.
Yeah, the amount of scrapping going on in the solo lane, I'm slightly surprised that Biggie Doinks only has the one ward, but who knows?
Yeah, unfortunate. A bit to learn from. No more time to learn from the losses, though. That is Skill Issue out of the run for the finals in the upper division. That means Big C advanced to round 3 of the losers bracket finals. And that is it for us today. Thank you very much for watching. We will be back with more streams at other days. Again, thank you very much, and congratulations to the Big C for continuing their run here in the upper division finals tourney.